Hey, what is up everybody, Blades for here, and today for you guys another video of freaking Persona 5X. And you guys already see the title, you already know what it is, but we are going to be going over the build for Chord. Now Chord is one of the newest characters that have now came into the game, and boy oh boy is she a character that you don't want to miss. This character does it all, where it comes down to at least being an electric buffer in general, while also letting your DPS be as spammable and crazy with their highlights as possible. So we're going to go ahead and dive straight into this and go over the gear sets, all the things that you want to go ahead and build her with, and exactly what makes her so freaking strong. So let's go ahead and dive straight in. All right, so kicking things off with the passives and should you dupe this character. As always, when I say this is, first of all, if you are free to play, mind your stinking currency wisely. If anything, you can get this character, don't really got to get the dupes, but if you do get the extra dupe and more if you're whaling, it's definitely going to be worth it. So with this character in general, A0 is already good enough. We're able to get us a nice attack percent, or at least 20% of attack that can stack automatically on each time an ultimate skill is going to be used. Now that's already good enough for just the A0, but if we go ahead and check out the A1, we're able to not only at least apply a person as a loyal listener, which is one of the things she's allowed to do, giving them a nice buff, but also being able to give that said buff loyal listener 15% crit rate. Now this only happens if they are a single target or AoE role, which is kind of, you know, a little iffy at certain times, but it's still pretty dang good, to be honest, because all in all, the loyal listener is still getting that nice old buff. And it's going to be a person that really is going to prioritize highest attack or inside of that little category. So if you do have those two roles in the same team, it's gonna most likely go to whichever has the highest attack, who is part of that same role, and they're getting a 15% crit rate buff. It's already freaking good. Based off of her A0, it's stupid really good in general, but having the A1 really does change a little bit of the game when it comes down to your highest DPS. Now skipping as A2 as usual is just usually doing some at least upgrades, going to at least Passionate Singer and her finale range Unleash. Those are just getting some extra levels. But the A3 also is really good as well. Pretty much when using her ultimate, you're able to increase an ally by 30%, which is crazy amount, especially for the damage that they're going to be dealing. Now it's only for at least one turn, which does kind of suck a little bit, but I'll be honest, that one turn is all you need. Let's look at it this way, right? In short terms, it's only one turn, Blade. It's nothing that much. First of all, 30% is a huge amount, especially if you increase your ally who is your DPS. That junk is insane because you already have a 20% attack increase. Plus, if this happens to be your main DPS, you're getting that 15% crit rate, and then you're also getting that 30% extra damage dealt. It's just going to be freaking insane. All right, if you have A3, you're literally balling right now. There's nothing else you really need to get here. A4, of course, just some upgrades on some things, and then for A5, it also increases her highlight improvement. So anyone who of course had at least her already, her highlights were able to gauge a little bit, but with her now, she's able to get more at least energy recovery with this in the certain amount of actions, while also giving you a damage bonus, which is going to be 60% now. And this actually reduces her highlight cooldown for other allies by a turn. This is automatically a really good change, especially for her 5. I want to say for most people's 5s, they don't really interest me too much, but hers is actually pretty darn decent. It's really good, to be honest. And then her 6 is where things, of course, buku money, you guys are probably wailing at this point, but pretty much at the start of the battle, you are automatically getting her ultimate, or at least her skill 3. Her skill 3 is the main thing that gives at least a person an ultimate, which is absolutely amazing to have it. You get this off rip, immediately getting that, and it is permanently reduced by that said turn with a max of cooldown of 2 turns. Now this pretty much means you can just spam this over and over again to keep spamming your allies ultimate, and alongside of this, you're also getting a damage dealt permanently increased to 15% that can stack up twice. This can go immediately to 30%, meaning you're going to be dealing some monstrous damage if you do have this girl at A6. But once again, this is well status, so I mean, like, we all know what the heck you're doing there. So all in all, should you do? Heck yeah, character's definitely worth it. Definitely a really good support character without a doubt. But let's go ahead and go into the skill priority. All right, so going ahead and checking out the skill priority for this character, we're gonna look at the persona. And I gotta say, off rip, when I started building this character, the skill 3 is the way to go. Now, of course, the reasoning for this, it's short, sweet, and simple. This is the skill that you really want because it literally helps you get your highlight or your companion. This is the one that whenever you use your skill 2, of course, and in the next round, you're immediately gonna be able to release the highlight skill on one of your allies. This is the main thing that you guys want to do. And not only that, by increasing this, you're able to get yourself a little bit extra buffs for the highlight damage itself. She's able to increase this from, I think it's like the cap is around 78%, and which is really good for damage overall. The higher you get this up, the better. Pretty much anything that you really want and need for this whole thing, you definitely want to boost it. It's gonna be really good to get off that extra damage, especially since she's just gonna be charging this. So first things first, definitely go for this one. It's gonna be the one that you want to go for. Now, next one is gonna be improvised solo, in which the whole reason why we're using this is because this is gonna actually increase the loyal listener's attack damage. In general, for this skill, this is what we use on the first turn, especially if we don't have A6. So first turn, you can always use this, and this is going to be that nice old buff that you're going to be giving to one of your god dang like main DPSers. Alongside of this, of course, if you do upgrade this, it will scale off of her attack power as well. So I think the max is around 980 or 940. I think it's definitely 980 if I'm right. With this attack power, we currently have 919, in which, this being in mind, you're getting a ton of attack based off of that as well, and it's for 3 whole turns. So pretty much this can only happen to one person, but it is definitely worth it, seeing you're getting some crazy dang buffs. Lastly, you would want to go ahead and do Passionate Tweet. This is going to be more of her damaging move, in which the loyal listener is also going to get a little bit of a buff off of this as well. Pretty much the more you upgrade this, the higher the inflict status is going to be, of course, and the higher the extra attack power is going to be for your loyal listener. So she's just all in all buffing the loyal listener like crazy and making sure that you're getting as much damage in as possible. So in the order of skills you want to go ahead and go for this one first: improvise solo, passionate tweet, and then combat skills. All 4 of them are really good, but definitely doing it in this way is the way you really want to go for. But let's go ahead and move on to the next section of the video, which is going to be pretty much her weapon options. All right, going into the weapon options here, I do have to say, for this character's weapon, it's not fully necessary to get the 5-star weapon. Seeing the 4-star weapon is pretty darn good itself. 4-star weapon actually increases the attack by 12%, which is already good in general. And if you do have this up, it should be going to a 24% attack stat, which is really nice as well. Now, alongside of this, she's able to buff her ultimate skill, which increases her attack by 28 to 52. If you do have it maxed duped as well. And I feel like this is already a good weapon in general. Your weapon options for this isn't really too bad, but when it does come down to at least the 5-star weapon, that is where things get a little bit crazy. Now, her 5-star weapon is incredibly good. You don't have to get it, though I would tell you it's pretty good to do so. Now, the reason for this is because you're automatically getting yourself a 30% base attack increase, and alongside of this here, you're able to get extra highlight energy, meaning you're going to be popping off the highlight immediately. With this in mind, you're also buffing your loyal listener, which, just being at base, it should be around 15% of a boost, as you guys can see right here. And with this here, each time you unleash a highlight or anything of that sort, you're actually buffing the ally as well who has loyal listeners. So she already buffs the ally a lot with just her kit, but having this weapon, you're getting more buffs, which is going to be by a 5% that can stack up to 3 times. You're getting extra highlight energy. You're also getting attack boosting in general for her and the person that she has as a loyal listener, which makes this weapon pretty dang top tier, to be honest. Definitely does make a huge difference in at least her gameplay, though I would say if you physically have no way of getting her weapon, then I mean, it's not going to harm you to stick with a 4-star. Just make sure that you have it pretty duped out, and that can make up for some of the attack loss. Now, if you're one of the people who don't have any dupes for it, like no dupes for the 4-star, and you could not get the 5-star weapon, you're gonna be taking a little bit of a disadvantage, but it's still gonna be pretty darn decent. Seeing the 4-star isn't that abysmal. But all in all, those are her weapon options for those two, and we're gonna go ahead and move on to the gear sets and things of that. Okay, so going ahead and checking out the gear set here, she is the first character, if I'm right, to be running the damage reduction set. There's not many people that end up using this damage reduction set, and the whole reasoning for this is because we want her to be a little bit chunky, but also for the 4th set here. Pretty much immediately after recovering, when we enter the battle, we get a 25% highlight energy, which cannot be re-triggered. This is going to be helping her out in the first beginning of the battle. The quicker you get this highlight up, the better. So for at least the 4th set, enrichment is what you really want to go with. And then when it comes down to the actual stats of things, she's really just built on a lot of attack, things of that nature. So attack and things that just make her absolutely at least strong in general. Now mine is not built whatsoever, and we managed to get her to 70, which even surprises me. But we have her around 70, and you really want to have some HP, defense, attack, and things like that. But you also want to make sure you have SP regen and speed. Those are going to be your main deals when it does come down to the set that she's going to be utilizing. So let's go ahead and go look at the actual gear set. So we got kind of lucky on this one, managing to get 3 of the actual stats that we wanted. Crit damage is just a bonus kind of, but nothing really needed for this. But what you really want to go for when it comes down to the main stats is, of course, the main one here is going to be HP. The one in the moon is going to be attack percentage. Another one inside the star, you want to try and get attack percentage as well. And then for the last one, I personally say speed, because I feel like going too much attack is too much for her, especially if she's not fast enough to keep up and actually get this set up. I feel like speed is the best way to go about it. Now you could use an attack one as well here, but if you do end up using an attack one, you might want to sacrifice this one here for something else. So I'm pretty sure you can get speed on this one, unless I'm tripping. You might not get it. So keep this as attack, but all in all, you definitely want to try and get speed here, in at least my opinion. The only time that I feel like you would go ahead and stick with an attack piece here is if your substats are absolutely perfect and you have a ton of speed to make sure she's able to set up. So to look at this once again, for substats, you really want to try and get yourself attack, HP, speed, and SP regen. Those are going to be your main deals here. So if you can get a lot of SP recovery, HP, and attack percentage, you are in the ballpark. Any types of speed on this with those as well is also pretty decent. Like this one's actually trash of a substat one, but the only reason I kept this because it had at least 2 speed on it, so why not? And it did go up into HP a little bit, so why not? But all in all, try to get yourself a ton of HP, ton of speed, a ton of SP recovery, especially for that SP recovery side of things, and just go along with it. It definitely helps you out a lot. Now going on to the at least arcane card that we're going to be looking at, which a lot of you guys know as the big card right here. This guy, you want to go with trust and do the same thing for the SP, or at least for the substats, get the same substats. And the main reasoning for this, of course, is because it's also helping us out, at least dealing damage to other people, while also giving us a damage boost, which is really nice. Pretty much once we do have this, we also get a party increase for 20% almost. So I mean, like, it's already good in general just to have this set. So all in all, definitely the best set for this. If you guys got other at least ideas for at least a good Chord build, go ahead and tell me down below in the comment section. But this is definitely her best set that is currently out. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the best team comps. Okay, so looking at one of her best teams here, this one is kind of like a budget build, but this one definitely does work out the best. I like this team a lot, mainly because it helps out the cursed DPSs and things like that of that nature. That really just helps you deal that more extra damage in general. But with this here, we also have the defense shred from, or at least Rin, while also getting the quick just up ability and uptime when it does come down to at least having everything flow on the speed gauge. Alongside with this, we're able to get the extra turns from Joker, getting that extra damage that once we do buff him with Chord, he's just gonna go ballistic. You already know how the at least buffs have went with Joker, and so pairing these two together is kind of like a match made in heaven. You got that damage dealt increase in general that Chord is offering us, The highlight spam is already amazing. And then by having Okeon here, she's boosting up our offense. Now, if you didn't want to use somewhat of a budget build like I'm using, you would technically need Phoebe. We currently do not have Phoebe, so you guys can see exactly why I have to deal with Okeon here. But there's nothing really wrong with that, especially if you do have some dupes on her. It's just going to be a little bit of a damage decrease, but all in all, it's still pretty dang good, especially if you do have Phoebe's weapon or Okeon's weapon as well. It's going to help you out in general for at least taking out anything you want. Now, when it comes down to Wonder, I do advise you to try to have a buffer just so you can start setting up those quick clears. So Dionysus is really good to have here. Dominion is also really good. And then if you do need a little bit of that defensive side of things, I would decide to use Norn, because then you can also try to proc off that win debuff status. That will help you out as well. Now, her next team, which is stupid good as well, and goes down with Yui. You want to go ahead and try to use Closer and just keep her here at this point. Same different teams, or at least same team, same navigator pretty much, and it's just gonna go crazy from here. Now, if you do utilize this team, try to favor as much as possible into a little bit of defense too, because let's be honest, Closer's squishy, Yui can be squishy at times, and Chord, she's gonna be the only strength one, because you're gonna be building her a little bit on HP. So two of your main people who are going to be here, there is stupid good already, right? She's already buffing the electric team, which makes this team even more deadly than normal. But do keep in mind that two characters in this whole this build right here can easily be knocked down, especially Closer. So if you're going to be utilizing this one, make sure Closer has the HP set on that she needs to have on, because at that point she's able to at least live. And yeah, just if she does not have that on, she might get clapped up, seeing that there is no real sustainability on this team and it's just pure on offense. But all in all, with this team, I feel like it is really good. I'm gonna just stick with the Joker team, of course, just mainly because, I'm sorry, if you guys were inside the stream yesterday, you guys know exactly what the heck's been going on, and I tried it with Chord and it was just filthy. So yeah, this is probably going to be the team that I'm going to be rocking with for quite some time here. But if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to smack that like button, which for hey, consider subscribing if you are new. We do daily videos of Persona 5, and we are going to be streaming once again later on tonight. So of course, if you guys do want to stop by, that'll be awesome. It's going to be a little bit of a short stream, but we'll see exactly how it goes out. But till next time, everybody, peace out.